Okay, there we go. See, I had the incorrect title. There we go. If you guys can hear me now, I didn't have the appropriate title, so I had to change that real quick. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to bust this one out. Air Jordan 10, Smoke Gray. Apparently, from what I heard in the grapevine, this is only going to be in grade school sizes or whatever, which is weird because I kind of like this colorway a lot. Let's just be real, though. You guys already know I do not have the money to go ahead and cop this pair. I don't have money to cop any pairs. So this is nothing new. Let me know in the chat down below if you guys can hear me just fine, if you guys can see everything just fine, and we'll be good. I'll go ahead and start working on it. Don't really have too much on the plate for discussions. Besides, there is one topic that I was going to get to yesterday, reviewing the live stream a little bit. I completely neglected it. Let's turn this off. We hear you? That's what's up. You won Best Artist of the Year? Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate everybody. One topic that I completely forgot because, you know, answering questions and then I just go off on tangents. You guys know how it is. School. Schools, that's a whole topic in and of itself. Let's actually go ahead and fix this. But yeah, I definitely want to get to the school topic. Last night was the last day of the NBA preseason, so we're not going to see any basketball goodness until, I believe, what is it? It's going to be, I guess Tuesday, right? The 16th? Whatever day is the 16th. That's when it comes back. It's going to be good. I'm excited, man. Regular season's cool, like, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like the playoffs, you know? And as much as I like the regular season, I can't wait for the playoffs. Regular season's just like an appetizer, really, because that's when everything gets real, is the playoffs. So that's what I'm really waiting for. Preseason's cool, but after that first, you know, 1 or 2 days, I kind of got the gist of it. I got all I wanted to see. I saw LeBron James in that Lakers uniform for the first time. I'm like, all right, it's real. It's cool, though. It's cool. All right. As usual, we're going to start with the outsole. We're going to bust it out. I'm going to try to go quicker this time. I want this to be, you know, a good hour. Maybe a little bit over an hour. Much better, though, that I'm starting, like, you know, not at 11 p.m. or anything like that. Starting before 10. I'm not going to, because, you know, I hate putting out promises out there. But I definitely want to do a live stream a week. I think that'd be cool. Maybe even 2. Because on, like, Saturdays and Fridays, it's cool just to go ahead and bust out a live stream, you know. Still going to have the how to draw videos on Sundays for sure. This is the unique part. What we're going to do here, we're going to have this stroke. Going to make it a little bit thicker. There we go. I want to keep that same energy. And we can just recreate that. Yeah, Sundays are still always going to be how to draw videos. I'll post a poll as usual. I have a few different options that I think are going to be really interesting. So guys, make sure you go ahead and you vote tomorrow. Let's see. After All-Star Game, it does get pretty good, though, I'll admit. Because if your team isn't doing good, then your team's not doing good. And usually, like, I would say, you know, pretty much after December, teams kind of get a feel for where they're at. And they can kind of understand, it's like, all right, is this season, you know, redeemable, or are we just screwed? Should we just go ahead and tank? That's been the philosophy of my Orlando Magic, for sure. Like, for the past 6-7 years in a row. So hopefully we still don't have that same philosophy. Hopefully we do something, anything. Like, if you gotta put me out there, I'll play a few minutes. Like, I'll help. I bring good energy. We could use a little more of that. So the way this works is these pieces that I'm making right now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut them out of the piece that's in the bottom. Then I'm gonna fill in all these colors, and it's gonna look great. Biased, of course, but you already know. So without further ado, appreciate it, Angel. Let's not do that. Let's get into the topic of school, because school is very important. I'm only assuming. What? We want to do this. There we go. I'm assuming most of you guys are young, you know, not graduated from high school. If anybody's past high school, I mean, by all means, let me know. I'm curious to see that. But one thing that's really kind of been the discussion for, I guess, young adults, people that have graduated high school, is whether or not college is worth it. Now, if you're trying to be a doctor, yeah, college is worth it. You know, if you're trying to be an engineer, college is probably worth it. But if you're trying to be like an artist, you may not have to go to college. Now, I don't regret the decision for me going to college, because where my mindset was at when I started college, and when I say college, I mean my school right now, the Art Institute in particular, because I did community college and stuff like that, and that's a long story in and of itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab, let's see, can we grab all these in a row? Yeah. We're going to make these guys outlined. We're going to grab all these, well, actually, not just yet, because we have this line. You see how it cuts all the way through, because you see where that red stops? We want to include it in the conversation. So we're going to make one more line, and then it's going to get good. Simple as that. We're just going to bring out here. This time around, I do want to try to add more detail, but I also don't want to spend a super long time working on this. I want it to be good, but I want to have time to do other stuff, because I have homework, you know, I got client work, got a lot of stuff to do. And even if this takes 2 hours, guys, the best part is that it still is like less time it would have taken to do this than it would have been to make an actual video. Doesn't mean I want to stray away from the videos too much, because I don't. I like doing live streams and I like making videos, but I think a healthy mix, that's like the sweet sauce, basically. Let's just go ahead and select. There's probably a better way to select all that, but we're gonna do this and let's see what happens. Not what I intended, so we're gonna do this first. All right, very nice. Now we're going to, all right, cool. We can clip off these loose ends because we don't need them, right? We don't need them. Do some of this. There we go. Okay, now everything's starting to work. But yeah, so here's the thing. In case you guys haven't thought of this yet, or maybe it hasn't really hit you, college is actually very expensive. Like the whole notion of scholarships and stuff, that's no joke, because if you can get scholarships, if you can get people to pretty much give you some money to help pay for college, that's real. Like that's super helpful. There we go. Now I haven't really gotten any scholarships, but I also haven't really tried to apply for any. Just to give you guys a little idea for how much my school costs. So it's basically a 4-year program. However, the 4th year is like half a semester long. So it's really 3 full years and some change. So it's not a full 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. And that includes like your standard classes that you would need. So like you'll get some general education, so some math, you know, all those basic classes, history, the stuff you normally need. So now that we have this, I'm going to select all these guys, color them up, do the same for the others, and then this bottom is pretty much done until I want to go back to it. No, not that. But there's a thing, because the way school is set up, it's set up in credits. If you guys are in high school, you already know about that. You need a certain amount of credits in order to obtain the degree. Okay. The problem with that is that, at least with my school, these credits are expensive. So if I didn't have any transfer credits, meaning if I didn't have classes that I had taken in other schools that could supplement the classes. Because let's say, for example, one class is college algebra. That's a very basic math class that you'll be taking in college. Let's say I already took college algebra in another school that I went to. I don't have to take college algebra again. The credit transfers over. And because the other school I took that class in was a community college, it's way cheaper to take that class at a community college than it is at my school. Reason being is the total amount that my school would have costed if I didn't come in with any transfer credits. Let's just see how that looks. Not bad so far. Just to get an idea. We're going to make these grooves darker though, because if we're looking at the reference image, see how they're a bit darker? So we're going to darken it up a little bit. If I didn't have any transfer credits, my school would have costed about 90 grand, almost $100,000. Now, I don't pay all that up front. No way. They're student loans, and I have to pay monthly. So it's a little expensive. I am using Illustrator, Pedro. Adobe Illustrator. For the kind of art that I like to do, Illustrator works better. I do use Photoshop, but for different things, not necessarily for this. So yeah, $90,000. $90,000. That's insane. That's a really nice car. Like a really nice car. At least for me. That's not like Bugatti or anything like that, but I'd be driving around the nicest Toyota Camry in the lot. The nicest Camry. We'll make it a little bit darker. Actually, here. We can just test the color out. Can we? Hello? Not that color. Let's zoom in a bit. Maybe it'd be easier this way. There we go. I like it. I like it. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, $90,000. All right. I don't like that, but thankfully, I had a decent amount of transfer credits that came in from other schools and other classes that I took. So in total, when I finish, I'll only have to pay like 60 grand as opposed to 90. So it helps. It's still a lot of money. That's why my goal is when I graduate, I want to try to go ahead and pay off what's left of my student loans, what's left of what I owe, as soon as possible. Guys, I'm a broke college student. You know why I'm broke? Because of the school I go to, okay? I have to pay like 500 and something bucks a month just to attend because I don't get everything covered by loans. So yeah, it's expensive. When I tell you guys I can't afford sneakers, I'm not lying. I can't do it, It's expensive. So that's just for my degree. God forbid you want to go to like a really, really good school and you don't have a scholarship. Oh my God, you're in for hurting in the wallets. How do you feel about sneaker design? Here's the thing. Back in high school when I first started drawing sneakers, and I talked a little bit about how I got into that yesterday. Back then I wanted to be a footwear designer. The problem is, it would still be cool to do. I'm very interested in the future seeing like footwear design internships, sneaker designer opportunities and stuff like that. But it's much more difficult to get into that industry. Yeah, there we go. Make this a little bit lighter. It's much more difficult to get into that than it is to be a graphic designer. Graphic designers are always in demand, especially if you're good at what you do. Like if you're creative, if you try, if you come up with good ideas. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I can handle myself. I'm gonna have, and I hate putting it like this, but it's true. I'm not gonna have any hard time getting a job, like a good job. Now, $90,000 seems like a lot. Remember, I'm only paying 60 in total. And I'm already paying some of it off because I have to pay a certain amount every month. So it sounds like a lot, but I expect to pay off whatever's left within 2 years. Obviously, I'll have to pay off whatever plays. Is sneaker art the only thing due? I love sneakers. So when it comes to my art, for the most part, however, recently I've been doing a lot of digital illustrations of people as like commissions. And guys, ready? Look at this. So these are solid lines, but these are stitching. We don't want them to be solid. We're going to go here, and I haven't done this in a minute. Okay, close, but we need it to be tighter. So we're going to go here. How does that look? We're going to make it a little tighter, I guess. We're gonna make this like 8 because yes, and we're gonna make this like 4, something like that, right? Yeet. That looks good to me. I'm not gonna stress about it too much, but that's how you tackle that. So see, look at that. Now we got some stitching. But sneaker art is a lot of what I do, and there's a good reason for that. And I'm gonna write that down because I got to get over this school conversation. There we go. It's written down. So yeah, point is, school is very expensive. However, unfortunately, there are some career fields where it's basically required because you can't be a nurse or a doctor without going to school. But if you want to be an artist, so if you want to be, let's say, a graphic designer, since that's like the easiest thing to kind of talk about, you can learn a lot of the principles, a lot of the core fundamentals, a lot of the, I guess, skills of graphic design through the internet, through YouTube, through Google, just asking the right questions, looking up curriculums on what you would learn in design school, and then looking up that information online. You can do the same with a lot of different things. You can do that with 3D design. A lot of these artists, you know, these freelance artists that work on commissions, not a lot of them, I'm not going to say this like because I don't know for sure, but I know a lot of them got their skills off of doing the work on their own and not because they went to school. And I know there's a lot of them that didn't go to school and that are making bank, like bank. I was at work. I work at the UPS store. There was this girl, and basically I do graphic design there, but I also work as an associate. So if somebody comes in, they want to ship a package, we help them do that and all that good stuff. She had brought in her PC, right, so the tower, and a monitor. I'm kind of thinking, okay, most people don't do this because, especially, you know, shipping from Florida to Montana, that's really expensive. That's a few $100 just to ship that. So I'm like, okay, she clearly likes using her computer a lot. You know, she clearly needs her computer. What do we got up here? That's good. Yeah, we'll stay on this layer. Let me just double check. Yeah, this is actually gonna go by quick, which means we're gonna be able to get into some good details, which I'm always happy about. Y'all already know that I love these details. So she was shipping out, and we don't need this. Whatever. We'll deal with it for now. She was shipping out packages, right? She had us pack her her monitor, her tower, and because I knew, I'm like, okay, the way she kind of looks, her personality, she's probably an artist. She probably does some kind of creative work. So I asked her, I'm like, so what kind of what do you do? Do you like do you design stuff? Or do you create stuff? Are you an artist of some sort? And sure enough, she's a digital artist. She does a lot of like super realistic art on Photoshop, as well as like 3D modelings and stuff. I didn't ask if she went to school because that just didn't think about my head to pop up. But like, I know that she makes a good amount of money because she used to live in Los Angeles. And the relevant part of that is, like, she used to live in one of the biggest cities in the United States, right? It's a great city to go to if you want to do the kind of work that she's doing, because you just have that many people that you can connect with, that many clients, that many, potential clients. And she was getting good work where she decided that she didn't like living there. She's like, it's an okay city, but it's not for her. So she had the luxury of moving around to different places. Now she's going to go live in Montana. I don't know what's in Montana. And I asked her this. I'm like, why would you, like, what is up there? If you guys live in Montana, don't hate me, but, like, I don't know what's up there. Why would you want to live there? Point is, she has some family up there. And she likes, like, how, I guess, just quiet and simple it is. She likes the environment. But the key is, based on her skills, she was able to have the luxury of deciding where she wanted to live. And that's really cool. By the way, here's where we're at. All this detail is going to be cut up. There's going to be some shading. I'm excited. And I know for a fact, the kind of work that she does not just come from school. Okay, so if you guys like drawing, if you guys are into art of any sense, I just had a Skype call, or not a Skype call, telephone call. I'll call her back. If you guys are into art in any sense of the word, don't think that you have to go to school if it's not something that you can afford. Why is she hitting me up? It's my cousin. I wonder if she knows I'm live streaming. If she does, then she's mean. How dare you call me in the middle of this live stream, putting in this work. Now, the reason why it's, do you have a sneaker collection? I do, and it consists of like 3 sneakers. It's pretty sad. I'm telling you. Yes! She's listening to this right now. She's a butthead, yo. That's so funny. I don't have a sneaker collection. I mean, I do, but it's sad. It's not worth mentioning. I can do a sneaker collection review like in 5 seconds. I got a pair of 4s, Toro 4s. I got a pair of 9s. What is it? Birmingham 9s. And then preheat LeBron 9s. Which, by the way, I love that model. That's one of his better models for sure. It's all good sports and stuff. Bro, you already know. You can just come back and watch the video after it's uploaded. You didn't miss much. You really didn't. So now we're kind of filling in some of these details. Because these stitching details are above the spot that it's in, it's just easier to kind of knock them out real quick first. You notice though, at least in terms of the image, the reference image that we're looking at, the stitching is darker than the layer that it's on. So this little panel thing or whatever you want to call this. So I'm just going to make them how they are now. I'll grab all of them and I'll darken them up in one swoop. And it'll be good. I probably also want to change the sizes of them. So thankfully they're all the same size. So that means I can change them all. I don't know. We're going to make it 6 and 2. That looks better. All right, cool. So now we're going to change the color. Gotta change the color. Make it something dark. Yeet. What up? Keldra Osmanwell. Everything you're doing looks really hard and confusing. Bro, I promise you it's not. If you've never driven a car, I guarantee you driving is way more difficult and confusing than this. I said this yesterday. You gotta know the rules of the road, right? You gotta know how the car works. You gotta know how to take care of the car if something's not working. Like, driving is way more difficult. This is because you're looking at everything. Obviously, I'm working on what's in the middle here. I'm zooming in and out. And then I know you guys are looking at all this stuff on the side, all this stuff on the top, all this stuff on the other side. And like, man, this looks like a spaceship. It's really not, man. It's really not. And I'm telling you, I'm thinking about doing like a set of tutorial videos teaching you guys A, the basics of Illustrator, and then B, how to do what I do. Because I feel like you guys would be interested in that. Maybe a few other people. Because I don't think this is hard. But I'm also used to this. Like, what's a good comparison? Like, if you were to tell somebody who runs like a 4-minute mile that what they do is hard, and they average a 4-minute mile, they're like, bro, I just work hard every day. I train every day. And when I started, I didn't run a 4-minute mile. But you practice a little bit, you know, and just day by day it gets easier. So when you hop into these pieces of software, you're not thinking about everything. You shouldn't think about everything. But the more you use it, the more you understand why everything is there. All these different things that you see going on in this screen, a lot of them make sense after you use it. But at first, it's just going to look like a lot. And I brought up the same thing, video games. Like, do you guys play League of Legends? That's super complex. Taking it serious. I want to know if there's any tips I can get it better. Drew, let me know what kind of designing you do. Let me know what kind of stuff you like to work on. Let me know if you're going to school. When you say designing, I'm assuming graphic design. Give me more information, and I'll definitely let you know what I think you can do. But yeah, these tutorial videos have to be a set of videos, because I can't just say, all right guys, we're gonna make a shoe and not explain to you guys how to use Illustrator. That's like saying, all right guys, we're gonna hop in this car, we're gonna do this obstacle course, and it's like, okay, but I've never driven a car in my life. You know, we gotta start somewhere. Again, I don't think this is hard, but I've been doing this since, well, I've been doing this for like a good 8 years. Illustrator, been working with Illustrator. In my high school, it was awesome because we had the opportunity. I kind of wish Illustrator service were a bit closer with this language though. Yeah, if you're familiar with the Adobe Suite, you're kind of used to like the craziness of how their software works. Like, you just know. You just know it's a lot. I'm doing thumbnails and banners for people, and they're not bad, but I can get better. Okay, so you're doing thumbnails and banners. First of all, that's a great start. So that means that you have to have either Photoshop or Illustrator skills, or a software that's equivalent. You know, you're taking images, you're recreating parts of images, you're combining images together, you're adding some effects, some lighting effects, some shading effects, adding text, right, typography. One thing I would do, and this is going to sound so basic, but I promise you this is going to level you up. Literally look at tutorial videos on YouTube. Try to go for ones that are simple, like text-based, like how to do a text effect on Photoshop or whatever, and just try to do one every single day. Follow the video. A lot of these guys who make videos on YouTube, like tutorial videos on like text and stuff for Photoshop, they make it real easy to follow along. So if you know how to open up the software and do anything, like, they'll go step by step through all the settings, everything. You do one video a day, and I say one video a day because, I mean, you know, just like to set a bar really high, I guess. But think about it. You do one video a day, you're going to level up so fast. If you do one a week, by default, you're leveling up slower. You know what I mean? I want to go to making maybe logos. Okay, so let's talk about logos. So first of all, let's talk about the importance of a logo. And let's start with one of the best logos, in my biased opinion, the Nike swoosh. I love that swoosh, yo. It's so iconic. It's got so much swag. It's so simple, so good. When we're talking about logos, and I'm assuming you're the same gentleman who mentioned thumbnails. Yeah, okay, so we're talking about, like, let's say maybe you're doing a logo for a team who wants to do esports. If you notice, like, esports teams' logos, there's a style to them. You got thick lines, a lot of negative space, very cartoony, a lot of like bolded text. We're gonna make this, I don't know, something like that. Yee. And then let's just make this a little bit darker, just a little bit. So whenever you're making logos, you want to think, what kind of logo is this market for? Okay, if it's an esports logo, you got to make it look like an esports logo. You can't make it look like a logo for like a jewelry shop where it's like small, thin, fancy lettering, right? So like if we look at what's a good example? Tiffany & Co., right? That brand or whatever, how it's like lettering. For an esports team, probably wouldn't work out too good because that's not how esports logos look. And when you're thinking about designing a logo, there's so many ways you can do it. You know, you can have an image that represents it. So Nike has their swoosh, and they have the text. You know, the Nike text that's slanted, it's tilted. It looks good or whatever. So sometimes they use the swoosh, sometimes they use both. Logo design is very complicated. The best way I can say to come up with the logo, and I actually learned this not too long ago. I guess this process, I'll say. You want to have basically 3 types of preliminary sketches done. You want to have a set that is descriptive, a set that's symbolic, and a set that's typographic. What do I mean by that? Well, let's see. So let's say, and I'll use the example that we were shown when we were in class. Let's say there's a pool company, right? Pip's Pool Service. They're a pool company. They need a logo. They don't have a logo, so they need a logo. Every business needs a logo. If there's a business that doesn't have a logo, they're not a business. Not a good one. You can tell them I said it, you know? So let's look at the 3 categories. And you can write this down. Descriptive, symbolic, typographic. And let's bring this around over here. So what I would do, and this is what we did in class, and it worked out very well. So that's why I suggest it. So you want to come up with 30 different sketches. 30 different sketches of each category. Why? Because by the end of it, you're going to have 90 different sketches in 3 categories. And hopefully by doing that, you will have exhausted all the possible different outcomes that you think that could work. So let's take it step by step. Descriptive. You might want to have a picture of like an outline of a pool. You know, that's one. You might want to have, I don't know, like a floaty device maybe. You know, what those floaties that they use in pools. That's 2. That's descriptive. It's literally an image, not text. It's just the sketches of the image that's describing what we're dealing with here. If it's jewelry, maybe like a ring. You know, that's pretty descriptive. Maybe like metal. That's descriptive. Okay, so now let's go to symbolic. This is where we start getting more abstract. What images can you make that symbolizes a pool supply store, whatever the heck, right? So if we're talking about a pool supply store, you know, a water drop, that's pretty symbolic because pool water, I don't really have to explain that too much, you know, very symbolic. That's a great example. Always been into sneakers and watching for 2 years and wanted clothing lines and have ideas I want to drop with them on computers. Heck yeah, bro. Just try. Just try. Even if nobody else in the world sees it, just try. Take these ideas, refine them, see what you like, see what works, see what doesn't work, tweak them. Nobody ever has to know about any of the stuff that you're working on. And you can still level up like crazy, right? Okay, so we have the descriptive of the pool place that needs a logo, right? They need a logo for their pool service or whatever. So descriptive would be an image of a pool. If you think about like a basic image, kind of looks like a bean, I guess, if it's like a fancy kind of pool. Symbolic, a water drop, and then typographic. How can we make text that looks like it would fit with that? Well, you can find typography, or not typography, fonts that are like watery, so they kind of flow, right? You can have maybe like, so like if it's pips, inside of the P, inside of the capital P, you can have there be a water drop. So instead of like a normal P, it's like a water drop P. Have you ever used Adobe Draw Mobile? I have not. I have not. Although, I guess it'd be something I should probably look into, because I know other people in my school use it. Take it one step at a time. But you see what I'm saying? So we have 3 different types of logos. The idea is you do 30 of each of those 3 different types. Let's see. And that's it. We're done. No, not really. We're kind of done. We're like 20% of the way done. I don't know. Now we get to have fun though. Now the shapes are there, except for this. Let me do this real quick. You know how crappy it'd be if I was done with this right now? Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this live stream. I appreciate you watching. Bye. Now we gotta add details, bro. Gotta add these details. Probably be done like in 20 minutes though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But you see how with those 3 different types, descriptive, symbolic, typographic, you're pretty much exhausting with 30 items each all the possible outcomes you can probably come up with. So this is the sneaker, and this is where we're at. So now we're going to start flesh out some of these details. So let's start with the bottom. I said, yeah, so the bottom would be up here. So let's go, let's take this, outline this. What kind of computer do you need? Well, I'm using a MacBook. The philosophy behind Macs is that these computers were pretty much made for designers. There are other computers out there that can work. You need something with a decent graphics card. You need something with a decent amount of RAM, like 8 gigs of RAM. I'm really not a computer guy, so I'm going to pretty much give you basic advice. But I will give you sage advice, though. Great advice. Go on Google. If you're balling on a budget, type in good computers for graphic design or for whatever under X amount of dollars, right? If you need something under $500, type that in. Google will take care of you. But I'm using a $3,000 computer, so I mean, you know, you got to work within your means. This computer is going to last me a few years. That's the only reason why I'm like cool with it. That I like it. How would I put the computer? Like take the drawing scan. Oh, okay. So, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do that real quick. So you would take the images and you scan them. Okay. So let's say I don't even know. Let's say, you know, we have the water drop. Yo, that's a good water drop. Okay, but let's say let's say this was the drawing of a water drop. You would put this on one layer, and then you would take the pen tool and you kind of go over it. Click, hold, move it, because you can move it anyway, right? Click, hold, clickety click, hold, you know. But you want your drawings to be pretty clean, because the cleaner your drawings are, the easier it's going to be to recreate. You don't want to have, and then we'll just move it to the side. Now you see how this is kind of rough? You have your selection tool up here at the top. Select it. Or I guess we can do this tool. You see how we have these different nodes? You click on one, now we can adjust. Yeet. That's how I do it. I always start with an image because it's way easier to draw something by hand than it is to try to recreate it on here. And if you have to trace over the same image 7 times to get it looking right, so that way it's easier for you to go ahead and recreate it, like, that's fine. Like, who's gonna tell you no? I'm not gonna tell you no. So then you use the pen tool and you just recreate it. If it's type, you know, if it's typography we're dealing with, find fonts, and then you can just use your type tool, type in whatever the name of the logo is or the brand, and then bam. Now obviously there's a lot of other steps that go into it if you want to customize, but that's the basic core of it. And again, I should probably really work on that series, but there's like 50 million things I got to work on, guys, which is good. I'm happy. I'm blessed that I can like realize there's a lot of stuff I have to work on, a lot of ways I can level up. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I need to clone myself and not sleep for like a month just to get all this stuff done. Or I could just prioritize my schedule a little bit better. That'd be kind of cool, I guess. So this color is not vibing with me. We're gonna sample this color. We're just gonna make it a little bit lighter. We're gonna delete that. I'm kind of feeling that. We can rock with that for now. Let's go ahead, and it probably look better if we darken all these bottom ones. Why do I say level up? I don't know. I say a lot of stuff that's weird though, you know. Because think about it, like, you ever think about yourself, and this is dumb, so the answer is probably no. You ever think about yourself as a video game character, and you have all your skills, right? you have your, I guess, strength. Like if you want to include that, like how strong are you? Can you do a lot of push-ups? Can you bench a lot? Endurance, right? We obviously have those skills, but I like to look at myself as a character in an RPG game that's like art related. Again, I know I'm weird. Just work with me for a second, right? So I'm like controlling my own RPG character, and every day I try to level up. Try to level up my skills. Try to see, okay, what can I train today? You know, can I learn a new skill? Can I add something to my repertoire? That's such an extra way of saying that word, but it's true, you know? Can you grow? Because if you're not leveling up your skills, what are you doing with your character? Are you just cruising? Like, that's okay, but don't you want to level up? Whenever you play Pokemon, do you just like go the entire game? It's like, all right, Pikachu, you ain't leveling up. You're going to be level 4 the rest of the game. God help us. Because when you get to, you know, a certain point of the game, that level 3 Pikachu ain't going to do anything for you. You know? Again, it's a really dumb, lame way of thinking about it, but it works for me, so. What we're going to do, you ever played around with the feather Gaussian blur filter? I do, but I like practicing with just plain colors. Like, for example, the Air Mags, I use the Gaussian blur. Use the Gaussian blur for that, because especially on certain sections where it's like a glow, like that works beautifully. But I like working with solid colors like this because it forces me to really think about the color that I'm using and how I can manipulate that color to do awesome stuff for me, right? Because everything you see on the screen is a tool, except for what I'm working on, because I'm working on, that's my canvas, right? This right here is my canvas. So how can I use these tools? So I like the pen tool. I love the pen tool. I love creating just images out of just raw shapes. What's the best way to do that? You know, are some of these lines working better than others? Should I reconfigure them? And there's always a lot of practice that goes into this. What's the best way to draw stitches on a shoe? If we're talking about on here, I use the pen tool. So I'll go off to the side again. Pen tool. Let's make a line. I guess it should be on the stroke. See down here we got fill, and this is stroke. Solid line, that's not stitching. We go to our stroke options, dashed line, lines. So if this is larger than this, then you're good. And then you can just know what I mean? So far on a scale of 1 to 10, this girl looks like a 4. But we about to make her look like a 7 real quick. So let's go ahead. I'm kind of feeling the outsole a little bit, kind of not. Let's just beef it up a little bit, make it look nice. Can you max out in real life? That's the beauty of it. Probably not. There's this one, I don't know who the artist was. I really don't. It's some famous artist. And I'm going to paraphrase the crap out of him. But he basically said, after drawing for 80 some years or whatever, I finally learned how to draw. It's something to that extent. So just think about that. It's not like that you're ever going to get perfect. You just grow. You level up a little bit every single day. And the key is to keep wanting to learn, keep wanting to get better. Because you're going to get to a point where you're really good, you know? Bam, now that outsole is starting to put in work. You're going to add a little bit of, going to add a little bit of differentiation over here. The upper is not going to take too long. And then just the laces and the lace loops and stuff will take a little bit, and then we're pretty much done. I could do this live stream for 4 hours, make it look really good, but I won't sleep, and I gotta do homework. So we're gonna get it to the point where it's good enough. You know, kind of cut this up. Kind of cut this up. Now, so this is the knife tool. This is a quick and easy way to do what I like to do. If you want more precise cuts that doesn't involve you using your mouse and being steady, you would want to use a pen tool and then separate the two shapes from one another. Yeah. There we go. So I'm satisfied with the color that it was. Ah, you're making me do this. I'm satisfied with this gray color, but the sections that I'm highlighting, I don't want it to be that gray. I want it to be a little bit lighter. Click on your color picker. Go a little bit lighter. Bam. See? Now that outsole and that midsole starting to put in work. Looks like an 8 to you. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. So now we're going to start working on some of these sections. So where did I... Okay, good. That's that layer. So we're going to lock everything else because I don't want to mess everything up. Not yet. Mess it up later, not now. We can do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take out this and we're going to do this. And then... Probably going to have to also do the same. So let's do this. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. All right, cool. So, again, not trying to be super specific. Light comes from the top, not from the bottom unless you're trying to be really cool. So, let's just kind of cut it up. Let's just see what happens. If it doesn't work, we can always undo. The problem with drawing with markers is there's no undo button. It's commit, 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 commit. Which is cool. Yeah, my mouse hit the laptop. So again, we're gonna do something like this. We're just gonna test it out. So what is this color? Okay, and then this color. We can make this one a little bit darker because why not? What up, Craig? Dope. All right, so we're gonna make this a little bit lighter. Right. We got these two sections. We're gonna copy the lighter color and we're gonna make that even lighter. So now, yee. And we're just gonna kind of rinse and repeat. We do have these guys right here. You know what? We can add those details, but for the purposes of today, I'm good without them. So, let's see. If we're trying to keep it dark, maybe we'll start, you know, kind of doing some of this. Now we're going to start to really have it work with that. Maybe even, I don't know, something like this. And then maybe, just maybe, something like that. Let's just see how this works. What color is this? That will work. What color is, this should be the same color. So that means if we want to be consistent, right? Consistency is pretty good. If we want to be consistent, bam. If we want to be consistent, bam. And then these are like the high points or whatever. Nope. Back off. There we go. We're just going to make these a little bit lighter. And I don't know what just happened. Bring it back. Yeah. What up, Derp? Derpy. We'll be doing another live vid. Twice a week. You know? ideally. But if that doesn't happen, I blame the economy. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. So what is going on over here? Ah, that's why. Okay. So, wait, what? This should be this. Now, I'm not sure what this guy over here is thinking. Who do you think you are? Let's move some of these guys back. Now I wonder, does this have, yeah, this has 2 layers of stitching. I'm not sure if I added 2 layers, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a layer in a second. This piece though, I'm curious as to what this piece is. Ah, okay. Sometimes things like that happen, so we're just gonna do something like that. All right, cool, that works. So I'm liking it. I'm kind of feeling it. Kind of feeling this vibe. I definitely want to add a second row of this stitching. But first I got to find out where that stitching is. See, if I was more organized, like I should be, this would be, no problem. But whatever, things happen. So we're going to add another layer. I know the stitching is real close to this, so I don't have to like stress it out too much. Because I already selected it, because I clicked on it before, it's taking what that is. Appreciate it, bro. It's taking whatever information that was in terms of the stroke and the width, or the stroke and the fill, I'm sorry, and it copied it over to what I'm about to do since I'm on the same tool, which is the pen tool. So maybe we can go like right here. Something like that, right? Let me just bring it over here. As you can see, we're actually getting pretty close to being pretty much done. Shout outs to the water drop. Pips Pool Service. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Saturdays still 2. Sundays, take Sundays off. Okay, so that's our inspiration. So far, this is our creation. And it's not looking half bad. Colors aren't exact because I'm not trying to go super crazy, but that's okay. So this one is this layer. Okay, so we're gonna take this. What is this one? Let's find out. Probably should make this one outlined. Yeah, and then we're gonna start working on these. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So these are gonna be pretty straightforward too. I'm gonna select all of these guys. And you already know, we're gonna grab the knife tool and we'll cut it up. Yeet. Yeet. Real quick, who do you guys think are going to the finals? I got Golden State, right? Fortunately. Because they're a good team. I got none but respect, but at the same time, like, one of them's got to get injured. to have a good season, I hate to say it, one of them's got to get injured, okay? I don't want it to happen, but too much power. That's all I'm going to say, too much power. We can take these, make these a little bit darker, so that way it's like more gradual, you know what I mean? Celtics, Lakers for Celtics, Warriors for Celtics. Warriors versus Celtics would be very interesting. Lakers versus Celtics would be iconic. I would be glued to the television every single night. I would be glued anyway because it'd be the finals or, playoffs. But that would be sick. It would be so sad if LeBron lost to the Celtics on the Lakers. Sad for him. Not sad for me. I ain't losing sleep. I just like watching basketball, It'd be sad for people who bet because now the betting thing is open. So now we have that. Let's work on cutting this piece up. Make that look nice. And we're going to cut it up. Something like that. And we want to make this like dark. Like that's not light enough. Man, if Kyrie got his ring without LeBron against LeBron, oh my God, the PTSD LeBron James would have. What would I do if the Magic made it to the finals? I would, the amount of alcoholic beverages I would consume, it'd put me out of YouTube for a week. No, that wouldn't be the case. I'd be so happy. I'd be like livid. I would let everybody who walks into my place of work know, because I wouldn't be working at the UPS, so I'd be working somewhere else. Like, ma'am, okay, I know you're trying to ship this package, but can we please talk about the Orlando Magic making the finals? Right? It's like, I understand that you're trying to ship your medications to your niece who needs them, but I got important stuff to talk about here. The Magic made the finals, you know? You know when was the last time this happened? 2009. You know how well that worked out? It didn't, okay? So let's just talk about my problems first, and then we can ship your stuff later. It will happen, bro. Just definitely not this year. Most likely not next year. And for like the next 10 years afterward. But it will happen. I'll be there. I'll be in the stands. Unless we get blown out game 1, and it's like an away game, then I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to pay $1,000 to go see my guys get slaughtered. Okay, so again, adding some more details. Probably going to work on whatever this part is, right? Going to flesh out some of these details, and then we're good. We good. Probably got like another 5-10 minutes, and then we're good. So let's see. And again, for you guys asking, is it weird there's only 16 people chatting? Yo, we have 16 people watching? That's crazy. We got 12 people watching. That's what's up. That's a squad right there. We go 12 deep in this live stream. So, we're going to cut this up. But what was I going to say? For those of you who are just, they really want to learn about Illustrator, I'm telling you guys, I do want to make that set of tutorials, but in the meantime, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. A lot of videos on YouTube. We're going to make this a little bit darker. Not just on Illustrator in general, but like on specific things in Illustrator. So if you're looking at some of these tools, if you have this software and you're like, what does that tool do? Why would I want to use that tool? You know, like the guy earlier mentioned Gaussian blur. If you don't know what that is, type it in. You never know. Maybe that could be like a tool that you really use a lot because you like what it can do for you. You know what I mean? In which case, that 5 to 10 minutes you spent looking up was like super worth it because that changed your life. Or maybe that doesn't happen. One of the two, right? All right, there we go. I kind of like that. Kickstart ones. So, if you go on my site, Kickstart.com, self-plug, the greatest site in the history of man, next to YouTube, I guess. If you go on the pencil tab, there's going to be a sneaker in there. It's a New Balance sneaker. That would pretty much be like an example of the Kickstart one. It wouldn't be a New Balance sneaker if I were to make one, but I mean that's a pretty solid example. And for all these parts, because it's so clustered in this house, we're gonna just kind of outline it just so I can see what the heck is going on, right? Gaussian blur, Gaussian war. No, for real though. Look at tutorials, man. That's what I do. I don't do that so much with Illustrator, even though I really should. I do that with a lot of Photoshop stuff because, like, I'm not an expert in Illustrator by any means. I don't pretend to be, but I have a decent grasp on what's going on with this software. But with Photoshop is so complex. Like half the time I think I know what's going on and I really don't. And there's so many ways of doing so many things on Photoshop where it's like, yo, I gotta learn some of these things. And there's no way to learn everything. There's a guy, He's from Tampa. Matt Kowalski. I know I messed up his name. If you're listening to this live stream, I know you're watching this live stream. So you're one of the 12 people watching. Sorry, bro. I messed up your name probably. Much respect, though. I bought your book, so let's go easy on me. He's like a Photoshop guru, right? This guy made a book on Photoshop. Sold well. I bought one, just to give you some context. And he admits, if there's ever anybody on the planet that'll tell you they're a 10 out of 10 in Photoshop, they're lying. Because he is like a guru, right? He wrote a book on it. And he doesn't know everything. Because there's no way. And we want to do this. And maybe this. Just keep it simple. Mike Wazowski. The green eye from Monsters, Inc. I wish, man. Mike Wazowski. Who is that slug lady? She's so funny. She's like every retail customer service employee ever. Always fed up. Okay. So we have that because why not, right? Why not me? All right. Speaking of why not, I guess not why not. There's an awesome commercial that I guess Nike had released a few years ago. Derrick Rose is featuring it, and before Derrick Rose got injured, he was my favorite player. The way that guy played basketball with so much ferocity, so much relentlessness, so much whatever other word, like he was Westbrook before Westbrook. Okay? That was the guy. Okay? He had a commercial. Type in like in YouTube, like what is it? Derrick Rose commercial, Rose Petals or something, and it's like a poem that's narrated by somebody that's either Tupac or sounds a lot like Tupac. That's a great commercial. That inspires me for like a little bit, and then I don't get inspired anymore. But for real though, I think that's an amazing commercial. If you guys want to watch some that I think is well produced from top to bottom, that's good to look at. Yeah, I got about like 5 minutes left of work, and then I'm done. And then tomorrow's a how to draw video. Which one? I don't know. You guys got to vote. And if you're of age, what is it? Election day is like, or voting day or whatever is the 6th of next month. So yeah, like, obviously you want to prioritize voting on my videos first, but then get out there and vote. Yo, he got hurt so, like, okay, think about this. He was my favorite player, and this guy's ankles went from being made of, like, bone and meat and muscle to being made out of, like, marshmallows. In the matter of minutes. Like, I was so upset. You got to register to vote. And, so you can go on Google, type in how to register to vote for your state. And then you got to look at voting polls and stuff like that. I don't know. Voting is important. That's why you got to vote in my videos. It all comes back to my videos, self-plug. If you're 11, you probably can't vote. At least not in this country. But you know what? Don't let that stop you. You walk in there with your whatever ID you have. I don't even know if you have ID. You're like, listen, guys, I'm going to vote. And if anybody stops me, and then that's probably when they kick you out. Don't let them silence you, bro. You walk into that voting poll, and they're going to be like, where's your mom? And you're like, shut up. I'm here to vote. No, don't do that. That's not good advice. That is funny, though. Please film it if you do that. Please. That would be a viral video. I'd watch it once. You won't go to jail. Again, don't do this. But they'll probably think, what is this kid thinking about? They'll appreciate your patriotism or whatever. But they'll also, like, seriously question your parents. Where is his parents? How did he walk here? When I think of D-Rose himself, how could you have been in order everybody quit on you? Like, That's why Westbrook impresses the crap out of me. He frustrates me because he really, like, he can do small things to improve his game. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like this guy was giving everybody problems. Derrick Rose was dunking on everybody. And not just like dunking, like with swag, right? With finesse. And then he got injured. And then he got injured again. And like 3 more times after that. And I was upset. To this day, I can't get over it. I can't look at him the same. He's in Minnesota. I don't care. That's not the Derrick Rose we want. We want the old Derrick Rose. The Derrick Rose had like a 40-inch vertical Derrick Rose. I agree, bro. Westbrook needs to learn how to really get the most out of his teammates, even if it's the expense of him. Because you're only as good as your teammates. All right? He needs to learn. And, you know, maybe last season it was bad because of Carmelo. I don't know. But I think there's just a few different things he can do to kind of audit the way he plays basketball. He'd be great. Air Jordan 12 Rainbow. Off the top of my head, I can't think about what colorway that is. I'm assuming it's a very colorful colorway. Taking some of my context clues, you know, rainbow colors. Oh, no, we got to make this darker. Yeah, okay. We got to make this darker. Yeet. And we should probably make this darker too, like. And that means that's got to get darker. Consistency. We just got to add these and then we're done, guys. Spooky. I'm not saying you're late, but I'm probably going to be done in 10 minutes. Yes. The dunk on Dragic. Oh my God. And the announcer is like, Dragic, don't you know? Derrick Rose says I can go upstairs or something like that. When I heard that, I'm like, ooh. He said he can go upstairs. Like, I don't know what that means, but I was hyped. I'm like, yes, he did. You go upstairs, Derrick Rose. You say 5th floor, please, and then you just get up there. I want to go higher. I don't know if that guy's still commentating, but that will always be iconic in my brain. And then the 2 dunks he had that one game when they were playing against the Heat. Oh my God! I'm telling you guys, old school Derrick Rose will always have a soft spot in my heart, but it's not the same. But that's okay. Ebbs and flows. You know, I mean, think about all the other great NBA players that were robbed due to injuries. Let's just like think about some common ones real quick. By the way, isn't there like a piece? Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey. Come on. Don't disrespect. Stop disrespecting. There we go. Okay, cool. I was about to say. So why isn't this doing the one thing I wanted to do? So what's a few good players? Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill. That's already the lightest color. So let's just make this a little bit darker then. Probably work better that way. Later sports and stuff. Do a video playing basketball. Guys, I promise you. Steph had some injuries, but he's pretty much good now. Like, I can't think of too many players that had bad injuries that has like as good as a career as Steph Curry. So he really is blessed. And he also plays a great style of basketball. Vince Carter, there we go. How long was he injured for, though? Vince Carter's still playing. I don't know what he's doing. He's getting those checks. I respect him. But he needs to be careful. I don't want him to get injured for like some stupid reason. That wouldn't be cool. Again, like Vince Carter, you do what you want. I'm just a kid that watches basketball. But don't get injured. You're like on season 40. You know, just take it easy. Do it for me, Vince. Do it for me. We'll do this. Okay. Guys, we got this much left to go, and we're done. But Steph hits his head really hard. Did he do that recently? I know he's gotten a lot better at falling, so that way that doesn't become as big of an issue. Because sometimes he doesn't know how to fall properly. And it's not just him. A lot of these NBA players don't know how to fall properly. You gotta like ease yourself down. And I don't care if it makes you look like you're old. Like, falling's no joke. You fall the wrong way and you're screwing up a part of your body that's making you millions of dollars. So, for all you future NBA players, can you please do an NBA 2K shoe? So like with 2K graphics or like a 2K shoe design, because I don't play 2K. Why isn't that doing what I want it to do? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some of this, and we're gonna make a shape out of this. Okay, not what I was thinking about, but we're gonna cut this up. I gotta do surgery now. Hate doing surgery. Let's take this. There we go. Surgery done. The patient survived. So, come on, do it. All right, cool. You ever heard the term the operation was a success, but the patient died? That's basically how I feel about Derrick Rose. Like, he's in the league, he's playing, but nothing was the same. Alright guys, we are like less than a minute away from being done. Guys, let me know what you guys think of these live streams. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I enjoy every second of this. I appreciate everybody who's watching. And I appreciate everybody who's not watching. How about that? Los Angeles Lakers or Golden State Warriors? I'm rooting for the Lakers. But being objective, we already know. In today's video, we have the Air Jordan 10 Smoke Gray featuring Water Drop. That's some literal drip. Yee. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's live stream. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these live streams. I think once a week is good. I think twice a week is also good. Definitely going to do a how to draw video tomorrow. I'll be posting a poll sometime around early afternoon. So guys, make sure you go out there and you vote. Don't go out to the voting polls if you're not of age, unless you're going to film it, because that's be super, super funny. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. Don't forget to check out Kickstarter.com for all your secret essential needs. And if you're not subscribed, maybe you should hit that subscribe button and bounce past that bell to get post notifications. Y'all already know.